Harper out! Harper out!
Moments after the police officers' heroic actions in defense of the public peace, the coalition supporters regroup in greater numbers. 5 or 6 of them shout slogans at a dwindling crowd of conservative hardliners. The situation is tense.
62% of seats! We're a parliamentary system!
We are the cultural mosaic! The rest of the world is looking on us in shame because we're doing nothing about the environment!
What's your standard for the international community?
They're having a meeting right now in Poland. And the rest of the countries in the world are saying Canada's...
The rest of the countries in the world? I doubt that, to be quite honest with you. This is not about... Don't give them 15 minutes of fame. All right, they have a right to protest. Let them toot their own whistle. Good showing, guys. We'll see how it turns out when there's an election. Ignore them, ignore them.
Sounds pretty good. You're signing that side behind you.
Oh, okay.
That's, yeah.
3 horsemen of the Herpocalypse!
Yeah. That was a good one.
We don't understand what's going on in Canada. We are children. This is insane behavior. It's insane behavior. Dialogue, what's dialogue? And what? And what? And what? And this madness? Barbara is coming back to destroy Canada. There's some history here.
But
some
then
history.
he had an election.
Learn.
How do you expect anything to get done in Parliament? When none,
read and understand.
We're not talking about history right now. We're talking about what's going on right now.
God is strong. History. The foundation. What's this before? What did you say yesterday? The surface.
You have to
You said
defeat
the
him.
surface.
The day after, our Governor General has to give him a right to another election. The electoral system is flawed. It's not flawed. It is flawed. We need elections that represent the people. I paid my taxes. That's right.
It's an history.
Did you hear the speakers here?
No.
Well, if you had, I'm sure you'd change
I don't think
your
so.
mind.
I've done a lot of reading on the issue.
You're very, very, very wrong. Someday you'll be sorry.
And they got a majority.
David Cullum from Mississauga.
That's not something you can take home, right?
I've been elected for municipal and volunteer, everything. But I was 23 years in elected office in Mississauga. I've never been a conservative member of my life. I'm a Canadian. That's the problem. Conservatives think they're more Canadian than the rest of the coalition because you go out and volunteer your time. Okay? I have volunteered my time, sir. I don't believe it. I have volunteered my time. You think that being a loudmouth is the thing. It's how much sweat equity have you put into the country? How much have you put into your community? So you're going to stand very little moral high ground because you're much older than me and you've put in a lot more time than me? Well, I'm putting my time right now for standing up. You know what I'm saying to you? That because I have gray hair, I'm not backing down from you. I've done. Keep smiling. You don't know. Have you remembered your script? Okay, come back to it. Go listen to the conservative propaganda, sir. No, I'm a very independent Canadian. Harper couldn't face the Parliament because Harper could not face the opposition. Okay. In a non-confidence vote. Because very much like our press, you don't know our history. Yeah, you clearly know our history. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I actually went on last night to review it, and I reviewed from 1921 to 1925. And what Lord Byng said when King asked him in 1925, will you dissolve and go into a government, into an election? And he did. Now, what happened was he asked King after that election, will you form a house, Parliament? But he didn't have, he had 101 seats. No, there isn't. If there was, this situation would not be happening. Even if Harper alone, that alone. And he also had scandals. That doesn't happen today. So what would have happened after the Conservatives couldn't form a house in 1926 is that he had an election. Now, King was able to use the
Meanwhile, back in Ottawa, Conservative strategists project the doom of their cherished dream of a unified Canadian nation. They fear that an intensive winter campaign could see Soviet-backed coalition forces making a push from the east to overwhelm their weakened defenses. Some believe the scenario to be overly alarmist, but cooler heads point out that Stalin murdered 10 million of his own citizens and would have little compunction to prevent Jack Layton from doing the same. Fortunately, the day is saved by an ongoing power struggle within the ranks of the Liberal Party. Recognizing these desperate times demand urgent action, the party decides on December 10th to temporarily suspend democracy and appoint Prince Michael Ignatieff as Liberal leader. conservative strategists breathe a sigh of relief, anticipating that Prince Ignatiev's Tsarist pedigree will alienate the Soviets and precipitate the collapse of the coalition. Once again, a sense of stability and normalcy pervades federal politics. Safe in the knowledge that none of the political parties offers the electorate any real choice, and that the electoral system safeguards against the possibility of change should any such choice ever develop, the parliamentary elites retire for the holiday season. Sipping brandy and mulled wine, they weep into their investment portfolios and debate having to send their children to public school.
Canada's making money on the backs of our people, and it's not right, and it has to stop.
Find a cure for big business! Find a cure for big business!
Men and women in political life need to listen to our fellow citizens over Christmas. We need to reflect carefully on what the best way forward for the country is. But we're on the 10th of December, Peter, and the events that we're discussing or hypothesizing about would only occur after the budget on the 26th of January. But I had a short conversation with Jack Layton tonight. I had a short conversation with Monsieur Duceppe tonight. I made it clear to them, and I hope I make it clear to Canadians, that we are not in coalition together. I informed them that I saw no reason to renegotiate the coalition agreement made by my predecessor.
Then you're telling me that Michael Ignatieff believes to leave the Conservatives where they are for the moment, unless you found something so egregious about Mr. Harper's behavior that you would again try and take him out.
Don, you do a wonderful job as an interviewer, but you're walking me to a place I'm not yet ready to go. That's the point I'm trying to make to you. The party is united.
But the difference... Michael, just because I'm getting tight on time. I mean, basically this week you were ready to take Harper down on the confidence vote that would have been held on Monday, and now isn't going to be. And now I'm understanding, and I think people listening will be understanding, you're saying, well, I'll have to wait and see what the situation is at the end of January, and you're sort of saying to me, don't be a dope and ask me to do something when I don't know what the situation will be. So you're prepared to do something else if the situation is different. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to take you to where you don't want to go.
You paraphrased me very, very accurately, Don.
How dear to us thy